It is true. Oh, no, it's not Tuesday, but it's still time to answer the questions you guys send it every single week on the BrendenPlayz forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. It is not Tuesday. I know that. Well, it might be Tuesday somewhere in the world where I'm recording this right now. Thank goodness, because this is a late one. Basically, I've had really no time. I've been swept off my feet this week. Well, the last 24 hours, I should say. It's been a really busy one, and I still haven't got a lot of the things I wanted to get done. So I've got a lot of work I've got to do today. But I always have time to get Let's Talk Tuesdays out, and I never want to miss a week. I hate missing Let's Talk Tuesdays. Even if it's a day late or 12 hours late, whatever than what I normally do, I want to make sure I get it done. So Let's Talk Tuesdays is available on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and, of course, YouTube. We had a pretty successful week last week, actually, I have to say. The view counts were up a little bit last week, so I really want to thank everyone that checked out Let's Talk Tuesdays last week. We are now, I think, number 7 for the entire sports shows on Spreaker, so that's pretty cool. And I want to thank the people that went along to Stitcher and helped us grow there a little bit. So if you want to help the show out, try and download the show a few times. On iTunes is great, Stitcher as well is another good idea to try and improve our show rankings there. But I want to thank everyone that's been doing that. And I want to thank our Patreon supporters as well. And I know I've neglected the Patreon a little bit, and I promised I wanted to do a show about 2k16 and everything about that. But I didn't get a second show done this month, and I probably won't get it done. But I want to try. I'll try and get one done early, next week or something like that. I'll try and get a special show done where I might discuss my entire thoughts about WWE 2k16. Now that I have the game, maybe we'll talk about the game itself, and we'll also touch base on 2k15 and where they went wrong there. So I'll try and get that done next week for the Patreon, and I'll put that out maybe a week earlier for the Patreon, and they can enjoy it and whatever. So I want to also shout out our Patreon users. We have a shout out to Cameron and Bashka. They are $5 pledges, so I want to shout them guys out. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate that. We also have a couple of shout outs as well for Sandman. He wants to shout out his BPZ title voting simulation. So this is a simulation that he does using WWE 2k15, probably 2k16 soon, where he simulates the matches on using the game for the title matches that take place on the forums. So on the forums we have championships, and they're basically a Member of the Month award. So what Sandman is doing is he picks, let's say, Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. That's Brock Lesnar is Sandman, Undertaker is me, BrendenPlayz. So me and Sandman are having a one-on-one matchup for the title on the forums. So he'll simulate that through the game to see how it goes, like to see who would win or something like that. So that's what he does there. It's really cool, and if you are on the forums, everybody loves it. So if you haven't checked out the forums, definitely check out Sandman's title votings if you are new to the forums, and kind of check out how the title votings all work. That's a great way to do it. And as well as that, we also have a shout out for Necess. He wants to promote his new series on the forums as well. Lots of forum shout outs today. It's called Behind the Account. So it's basically he gives an interview with somebody on the forums. He asks questions about them, more personal questions, and they give an honest and personal answer as well. So it's not in character. We have a lot of people who have characters on the forums and kind of act like they're somebody else, but this is just straight off the cup, a bit of a shoot, I guess you can say, and they answer some questions. So that's really cool as well, and everybody that's been on the forums has really enjoyed that one as well. So I think that's a really, really cool series. So shout out to those two guys, and those guys have been supporting the Patreon since the beginning and supporting the channel for such a long time now. So I want to shout those two guys out and say thanks to them. So this is going to be a big show today because we got a lot to talk about. So we have Wrestlemania that just happened for Universe Mode, 2k16 just dropped, Hell in a Cell just came out, Raw was a good one too, and we have a stack of questions. So this is another reason why the show's been delayed, is because I've been working on 2k16. I've been trying to get the new episode of Universe Mode out. It's going to be delayed as well for what I wanted to do. I just ran out of time today. I had a presentation to do early morning. I'm on about 5 hours sleep at the moment, so I'm sleep deprived, and that's going to be the norm. I think I'm probably going to get less and less and less sleep this week because I'm just on that grind at the moment. I'm probably going to put in 12 hours of work today, probably more, on 2k16. I want to try and get 2 videos out for 2k16 today. I'm just on the grind at the moment, and it's a bit of a stressful time and a very busy time, and I'm kind of like, last night I just had so many problems with 2k16 when I was trying to record. My new capture card that I got hasn't been that great. It's kind of let me down a little bit. It's good quality, don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of getting a number of errors, so it's kind of been a very frustrating process, more frustrating than it really has to be. So it's been a bit of annoying and difficult kind of 24 hours for sure, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. But first, we'll get into WrestleMania, and we'll kind of give a bit of a debrief and kind of run through what exactly happened at WrestleMania. And WrestleMania was really fun. WrestleMania was really cool, and I really, really enjoyed doing WrestleMania. It was very stressful, don't get me wrong. Like, the thing is, WrestleMania was delayed, and I guess we'll kind of run through the whole story of it, I suppose. But basically, I finished WrestleMania on Friday night, so I figured, okay, I got all the Saturday to render the video. That's cool. We're going to be finished with many hours to spare. So I started rendering it, and then I went to sleep on Friday to Saturday. Friday night, Saturday morning, whatever. So when I woke up, okay, cool, 10 hours, 8 hours of the video is done. There's 10 hours to go on the video. Sweet, we're all good. Then, basically, my computer ran out of space on it. So I didn't expect this. I kind of knew that I was running low on space, but I didn't realize how big this video was going to be. It was massive. So I ran out of space on my computer, so my rendering stopped. So I lost 8 hours straight away, and because I'm using a laptop, and it's still running pretty good, the render is going to take forever. So unfortunately, losing 8 hours, oh my god, and I was already running on a tight schedule as it was, so it was just an absolute disaster. It was just terrible. It was disastrous. It was horrible. So basically, I was freaking out, and I scheduled to do another render, and basically it was going to say, okay, you're going to finish about an hour before you go live. So I'm thinking, oh my god, an hour. And then an hour turned into about 15 minutes before we went live, and I'm like, holy shit, this is running really close. So I figured, okay, 15 minutes before we go live, that's fine, that's cool, we can do this. No worries, we can get this done. There's no doubt about it, we can do it. Everything's going to be fine. So we finally get it rendered, and it rendered late. It rendered 15 minutes after the show was meant to go live. So everyone was kind of wondering, what's going on? Why is it delayed? So we were scheduled to start at about 7 a.m., which was 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So we ended up starting at 15 past 5. So that was the first disaster. So everybody was waiting. Then we actually got WrestleMania done, and we started streaming it, and it was going great. Everything was going great. The first hour and a half was great. Everything's working fine. Until my internet cut out for about 3 minutes. It just randomly cut out, and no reason why. It just randomly cut out and come back on. So that was terrible. So everyone's like, oh my god. Everyone's freaking out. Like, everybody was telling me, oh my god, you should not have done this. I had so much hate coming my way. It's like, this was a disaster. You should never have done this. This was a terrible idea. I can't believe you even thought about doing this. This is stupid. And I'm thinking, wow, look, my internet cut out. There's nothing I can do. I'll get back online in a couple minutes. It's fine. You guys don't miss anything. You just have to wait a couple of minutes. So we get back online, and it's all sweet. We're good. We're good to go. And then WrestleMania, the rest of the show went fine until the last match. Well, actually, the World Heavyweight Championship matchup, as it turned out, when I was recording that, my microphone that I was using was the wrong one. So the microphone that I thought I was using, turns out it wasn't plugged in properly, so I was using my other mic, and since it was already 2 a.m. in the morning when I was doing it, and I just wanted to get it done and over and finish this and get this started rendering, I didn't go back to check, which was my first mistake. So I kind of fucked up there, and so the wrong mic was being played, but the mic didn't sound terrible. It was okay. It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, so things turned out okay there, so not too bad. Then the final match, the audio was out of sync, so this is sounding terrible, isn't it? The audio was out of sync by about 5 seconds, so I was going, oh my god, I can't believe he kicked out, and the cover just started, so the pinfall hadn't even started yet, so that was bad, but I managed to fix it for the live crowd. So it turned out okay, and in the end, everybody loved it. Everybody really enjoyed WrestleMania, so I'm not too fazed by that. it's expected to get a few mistakes, a few fuck-ups, but that's expected, It's the first time doing something like this. I didn't really have the time to kind of test a few streams out. I had a few small tests, like 15, 20 minutes of testing, and everything went fine. So my only concern was my internet not being good enough to run the stream, and the quality being terrible and lagging. But that didn't happen. It was the only concern really came from my own end and me actually making the video itself. So that was my own fault. So I think we're going to do another live stream for pay-per-views again. That's for sure. I think Extreme Rules. I think I definitely want to go live with that. I really enjoyed it, and probably next time I might go to Twitch instead. Originally, my idea was I was going to go on YouTube and then upload the stream straight away after. But and also my idea was as well just because I wanted to have WrestleMania already uploaded, then do the stream and then make the video public after the stream was over, so everybody could watch straight away or go back and watch something they missed. But unfortunately, I couldn't get that done because I ran out of time. The video didn't render until the stream was going, and if I uploaded the video whilst I was streaming, it might have lagged, or the quality could have been down, or we could have had problems since I was already uploading. So yeah, I mean, my scheduling was bad, but that was simply because I had all these other outside work I had to do, I had all those assignments and things I had to do, so I had really bad timing for WrestleMania to happen. It's such a huge video, it took so much time, it took like a week to make, but I think it was worth it in the end. Unfortunately, the view counts are probably going to be really shitty for it, and that's my own fault, because since I did the audio screw-up, I uploaded the screwed-up version, and that got like 7,000 views in less than a day or something like that, which is great, good start. Then I decided I'll upload the fixed-up version, the better version, and the good quality version. And obviously, most people have already seen WrestleMania by then, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that's going to affect the view count. But, it's not really about the views. It's about, people enjoying it and the subscribers enjoying the video. And everybody seemed as though they loved it. Really good feedback. A couple of problems, with a few matches. I didn't really like that one, but this match was great. So most people really enjoyed the show. So that really, makes me very happy. And I really enjoyed being there live, watching all the comments and interacting with everybody whilst the show was on. I really, really enjoyed that. So I definitely want to do that again. So I think next time I'll take it to Twitch, and we'll stream it on Twitch, and YouTube gaming, the stream was fine, I didn't mind it, but I think, since I'm not going to upload it again after the video's done, I'll probably just take it to Twitch, even though I probably do make money off streaming it rather than Twitch. I don't make anything off Twitch, but doesn't matter, as long as I want you guys to have the best experience watching it, and it was pretty cool. We had, nearly had 300 viewers at one point, which is amazing, and once the stream cut out, we went down to about 200 for the rest of the show, but that was pretty cool. I wanted more than that, but it was a very long video, and the UK people were struggling to stay awake, and it was fair enough. So Extreme Rules will only be 2 hours long probably, so it'll be a much shorter video, and more people will be more willing to watch the entire thing. And some people only wanted to watch some certain matches, so they wanted to watch the replay, which is cool. That's fine with me. And people do stuff on Saturday night. I don't have time to watch BrendenPlayz videos on Saturday night, so that's cool with me. So 200 to 300 viewers was pretty sweet. Overall, very, very happy with the way it went, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing it again. So definitely the plan right now is to do Extreme Rules as the live pay-per-view, and I want to try and get to Payback as well. So Payback will be the pay-per-view after Extreme Rules. I really want to try and get to Payback, and the reason why I say I really want to try and get to Payback is because I can only stream for another 3 weeks, so I want to try and get to Extreme Rules by the end of, by, what's the day, Wednesday now, so I want to try and get to Extreme Rules by perhaps Sunday. Maybe that's a bit optimistic, but maybe by Wednesday next week, and then try and have Extreme Rules out next weekend. That's a big show, that's a big ask, but I think if I can get that done and then really try and amp it up again and try and get to Payback before I have to go and I can't stream anymore and get 2 pay-per-view streams, I think that'd be really cool. I think you guys would really enjoy that. So that's the plan right now. That's why I'm going to be really on the grind today. I'm going to try and get as many episodes of Universe Mode I can done. And I'm probably going to be burnt out from playing 2k16 in the next 2 days or so, but I think it's worth it. So I guess we'll move on to 2k16 and my thoughts and opinions about the game so far. First impressions, I really do like the game. There's obviously some glitches and things about it that's kind of game-breaking right now, and they're very frustrating. For example, the attire glitch. When you put a new attire on somebody, if they win the match, they go invisible after the match. It was quite funny. So I put Dean Ambrose, he had a black shirt on, so I had his black shirt on, and after the match, he went invisible. So I'm like, well, holy shit, where's Ambrose gone? So that was a little bit disastrous and a bit weird, but it is what it is, and, you know, sometimes glitches happen, so as long as they patch it as soon as they can, I'm fine with that. As well as that, no title matches in Universe Mode. That's a big one. That's a really poor decision, and I heard that they are going to fix that, and I heard they're going to patch that this week. Well, soon. So the next patch, I heard they're going to fix that one up. So if that's the case, that's fine with me. I'm happy with that. But it is a little bit frustrating not to have title matches. The first episode of Universe Mode will have a title match, so, you know, I had to do my little magic to kind of make that happen. But yeah, so it was kind of a little bit annoying, but as long as they fix it, like I said, that's fine. So for the most part, though, I think they've done a pretty good job of the game. I really enjoy the gameplay. It's very smooth. It feels a lot slower, though. I mean, the referee count is really slower, so matches also draw out a lot longer as well. I did a slow match. You know, use the slow, you know, fast, normal, or slow tempo match. So I did a slow match, and it went like 25 minutes. It was a long match. It was a fucking great match, though. Really good. But it was so long, I couldn't, you know, it was just incredible. The matches are much longer, and I think they're much better as well. I really do enjoy them, and I think, you know, they do a lot more things now. Like, you know, I was watching a match, and, you know, for example, they were doing a suplex off the top turnbuckle to the outside of the ring and things like that. So, and they were, you know, flying over the ropes and things like that. So a lot more cool stuff was really happening, and I really appreciated that. So, and plus it's very smooth. You know, there's no, you know, once an entrance is done, there's no cutscene to go. You know, there's no, you know, loading times or anything like that. It's just straight to the next one. So it's very smooth like that. It's all just kind of flowing and very smooth. So I really do like that. So I think for the most part, I'm very happy with the way 2K16 is. I haven't really had a chance to kind of explore any of the created modes, but I had a chance to make a guy on My Career. So I was doing a My Career stream on Twitch, and basically I made a luchador, and I don't know how I got suckered into doing that one. So I wanted to do something different than the Beast, but I ended up making a luchador, and apparently he's like an American luchador, so he's a heel, and he's out to, I guess, disrespect Mexican luchadors or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of like the stream kind of picked us. So I was like, all right, cool. So that was cool. So he's like a patriotic American luchador. So that's the gimmick. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, so I had a chance to play bits of My Career. I'm still in NXT. I think I played maybe 4 matches in My Career, and it seems as though it's pretty good. Nothing's really changed that dramatically. I mean, rankings and things like that is fine, but in terms of NXT, it's still quite pretty much the same. You know, obviously the backstage interviews and things like that, you can kind of develop your character a lot easier and really kind of pick what you want to be. So, like in 2K15, when you were doing a My Career, like it took forever. Like I was neutral. I was a face for God knows how long, until I could actually have a chance to have some options to do something heelish. When I wanted to be a heel, but I couldn't be a heel because, you know, unless I kind of got myself disqualified deliberately, I wouldn't, you know, my status wouldn't change. So it was a little bit silly how they did that, but I'm glad they kind of fixed that in 2K16. You can really kind of build on your character a lot better. But I haven't played Showcase Mode yet. I probably won't, to be honest with you, play it for a while. I might play it on stream at one point, but yeah, I haven't touched Showcase Mode. I'd say it'd be pretty decent. I use the Accelerator pack, so I already have everything unlocked, so I don't really need to play it for a while, other than really just a personal enjoyment. But yeah, I think overall I'm really enjoying 2K16, and I want to play more of it. I need to check out more of it. Universe Mode, I like the personality trait thing they've got going on there. There's a lot more options as well. You can really kind of manage all your superstars much better. So I like the options they've done with Universe Mode. I really do like the changes they've made, and overall I'm very pleased with it. I think once they fix the title glitch, and I think I'll be pretty happy with that. I mean, yeah, I think I think the only problem I really have is the way that you manage rosters. There's no managing rosters really easy. You can kind of dictate what shows they're on, but there's no like one kind of set function where you can just go bang, 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 manage the roster really easy. That's really my only kind of concern, because it took me forever to set up my roster. You know, it took me like an hour to do it when I was on stream, so it took me a long time. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with Universe Mode. I'm very, very happy with it. And I'm pretty happy with 2K16 overall. Obviously, this is first impressions, and as time goes on, I might find some more things that I don't like about it, but I'm pretty pleased so far, and everybody's been asking me, what do I think, what do I think? Well, I give it a thumbs up. I give it, what is my rating? I'd probably give it about an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's on its way to being a really good game. Obviously, these glitches are kind of annoying, but, even take those glitches away, I still think, they've got a bit of work to do, but they're still getting there. But much better than last year's version, that's for sure. So that's really all that matters. Really, to be honest with you, if they had story mode in, I think I'd probably give this a 9. That's just such a huge factor missing for the game from me, because I love story mode so much, especially for universe mode. Such a great option to have, and the fact that it isn't there, it's so frustrating. But I mean, it's okay. I mean, 2k16, you can work around it. The thing is, though, like, if there's no story mode, there needs to be a lot more cutscenes, and I didn't get any cutscenes on my first episode, but that's kind of expected because it was kind of brand versus brand. So in my next couple of episodes, we'll see if I get any cutscenes, and I'll kind of let you know how I feel about that. Probably next week I'll have a lot of Universe Mode episodes done, so I'll probably give you a better idea of how I feel about that next week. So we'll move on from 2k16 and we'll get into this week in wrestling. So it was a pretty big week in wrestling. We had the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and we had Monday Night Raw as well. So we'll talk about Hell in a Cell first, and I'll kind of, give a bit of a overall kind of thing. I won't go into too much detail about the matches, but I'll just kind of give a bit of a run through what I thought. So I didn't watch the pre-show, so we'll move on from that. The first match was Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena for the United States Championship. So Del Rio is back, and the crowd actually went wild, to my surprise. I mean, whenever you see anybody return that's a notable name, it's kind of like, oh yeah, cool. So the thing is, I was never a Del Rio fan. Never have been. At one point, I really was enjoying his work. At one point, when I think he first had turned babyface, I think I was like, alright, I'll give this guy a chance, and I was enjoying for a few weeks, and then I kind of fell off and didn't care for him again. So when he left, I was very happy. I was like, yes, thank God he's gone, because he was so boring. Just so boring. So the thing is, he needs to be, I don't know, they've just got to change his character. Like, what they were doing with him before he left was, so bad. It was just unbearable. And I was so happy to see him gone. So the rumor was that he was probably going to come back for WrestleMania. It was, there were some rumblings that he was going to return, but I wasn't expecting him to come back on that show. I was hearing Daniel Bryan, I was hearing Samoa Joe, but I wasn't really hearing Del Rio. So they did a very good job in keeping it a secret. So I can certainly appreciate that. And I thought for the most part, that was pretty well executed. I just think, John Cena, though, this is the thing with Cena. This is what pissed me off. John Cena has been kicking out of every freaking finisher for years. Kevin Owens, pop-up powerbomb after and over and over and over and over. Cena just keeps on kicking out every single time. Del Rio hits a fucking kick in the head, and Cena's done. He's out. He's out cold. And he didn't kick out. I mean, I was like, oh my God, are you serious? That's it. Del Rio just goes bang, bang, it's over. I think that might be the fastest that John Cena's ever lost clean, ever. It was like, well, holy shit. I mean, I know Cena wanted to get the hell out of there and, go home, but, oh my God, I mean, what the hell? After all these months of Cena beating everybody and kicking out of everybody's finisher, like Superman, Del Rio comes back for 5 minutes, and he beats John Cena, clean as a whistle. Unbelievable. Could not believe that. And the thing is, they didn't send John Cena off at all. Cena just lost the belt, and that was it. I thought it was the perfect time for Del Rio, because he wasn't established as a heel or face yet. He was kind of like, alright, cool, Del Rio's back. But he wasn't really established. I think he's definitely a heel, obviously, but why wouldn't they have Del Rio get the arm of Cena, put the cross arm breaker in, and make Del Rio break Cena's arm? Cena's going to be out for 2 months. An arm break injury is 2 months? Perfect! So why didn't you have Del Rio break the arm of Cena? So when Cena comes back, he's pissed off, and he has a reason to get his title back. Now, Cena just left. They didn't mention on Raw, where's Cena? Nobody knows. Where's he gone? I have no idea. So it was just Del Rio winning, and Cena's gone. See you later. I'm in. That's it. I'm done. So you could have done something, surely. You could have put Del Rio over even more. Like, if you really want to establish Del Rio as a top-level heel, have him break Cena's arm. Put the cross arm breaker in after the match is over. Del Rio kicks Cena in the head. He celebrates. He's got the title. And he's like, you know what? I'm not done yet. Grabs the arm of Cena and puts the arm breaker in and just does not let go. But of course, John Cena is Superman and he can't get injured. We can't make Cena look bad. We can't make Cena look human. So, unbelievable. You know, now Cena's gone. No explanation why. He's just gone. Alright, see you, Cena. You lost the belt. See you later. They could have done something there. And they've missed an opportunity to do that. And I'm kind of frustrated by that. That was really my only concern about it. I mean, Del Rio winning, we all kind of expected Cena to drop the belt. You know, to me, I kind of thought Cena might keep it depending on the opponent. It was really about who he's going to face. Everybody thought Tyler Breeze. And if it was going to be Tyler Breeze, I was going to laugh because there's no way Tyler Breeze was going to beat Cena. And we'll talk more about Tyler Breeze later on because he is fucking done already. So if it was going to be anybody, I thought Daniel Bryan would be a good logical pick to have him lose the title to, but obviously Bryan not returned yet, not cleared yet, fine, cool. So Del Rio was the right option, and he was the right pick, so I'm happy, because Cena, he did such a good job in building the US title up. You know, 2 years ago, the US title was absolutely nothing. Remember when Dean Ambrose had the US title, and he did absolutely nothing with it? He didn't even defend it, didn't even give a shit about it. So the US title was on the bottom of the barrel, nobody gave a fuck. Now, the US title, I think, is much more prestigious than the IC title, and I see the US title as a pretty decent title now. I'm like, okay, US title's pretty credible. You know, Cena's held it for majority of the year, Seth Rollins had it for a hot minute, so I see the US title as a pretty decent title. So Del Rio getting it kind of carries that on, because, you know, some people are saying, Del Rio's a mid-carder. I think you'll find that Del Rio will be main eventing, you know, he'll be in main event feuds very soon. If not straight away. You know, he was on the main event of Raw, so I think you'll find that Del Rio is going to get a huge push. There must be some Mexican tour or something like that coming up, and Del Rio's back to boost up the Mexican audience, because they don't really have any Hispanic wrestlers right now. So Del Rio being back, he's going to get a huge push. He's going to be a top guy again, and there's no doubt about that. I mean, Del Rio, I think, is back to win titles and to be one of the top heels in the company again. He's not back to be a mid-card guy, he's back to be a top guy. So, and he's back getting a lot of money. He's obviously going to get paid handsomely to come back and do this, because, you know, they need him. You know, they couldn't get Rey. They tried to sign Rey Mysterio first. This is the thing. You know, people might not know, Rey Mysterio was their first call. They really tried to get Rey, and things fell through. That didn't happen. They couldn't get Rey. They probably couldn't agree to money, couldn't agree to a deal, couldn't agree to dates. Probably Rey wanted to work limited dates, where Del Rio was willing to work every TV. So, and probably in house shows, more or less, as well. So, they couldn't get Rey to the deal they wanted, so they went to Del Rio instead, because who else really is there? Carlito, well, they offered Carlito, you know, nothing. He offered Carlito peanuts, and he didn't want to take peanuts. So they're probably only going to put Carlito in NXT anyway. So, and Carlito wasn't, you know, he was okay. Never really a top guy. And Del Rio, in my opinion, never really a top guy, but they tried to position him as a top guy. You know, obviously multiple-time world champion. They really overpushed the guy incredibly. He was very overpushed, and he never really deserved it, and he was never really over that greatly with the fans. So they really tried to position Del Rio strongly, so they were always going to bring him back and position him strongly again. So I think Del Rio, this is just the beginning. I could see him winning the world title again. I really could. I think he could be a world champion again. Do I want to see that? Look, I'm going to give Del Rio about a month. I'll give him a month to improve and see and impress me, because he was good in Lucha Underground. Don't get me wrong, AAA Lucha Underground, great stuff. Really good stuff there. And his match at Ultimate Lucha against Morrison was amazing. No, he really did some great stuff there. So now Del Rio, we've seen him go away. He's refreshed. You know, we can see Del Rio. Bring him back. We can see the better of it. We've seen him at his best. So now it's a matter of, can the WWE bring out his best in this company, and can they change and morph his character into something that is going to be more successful? Because what they tried to do with him last time just flopped. It was not good. So I'm going to give Del Rio a month to see how he goes before I start shitting on him, because I've never been a fan, but I'm willing to give him another chance. And so far, so good. He was in that Fatal 4-Way on Raw, which was amazing. That was a fantastic match. So Del Rio can certainly put on some really good matches. I think him and Dolph Ziggler had a great match all those years back. And what was that, Extreme Rules? That was a great match. So I think Del Rio could really be a very good hand for this company. I think he could be very, very good upper mid card to even main event level talent. I mean, would I take Del Rio over Sheamus? Yeah, I think I probably would. So that just goes to show how much I don't care about Sheamus. So I'd rather see Del Rio in that position rather than Sheamus. So if they want to put a new guy as the top heel rather than Sheamus, then I guess Del Rio might be the man. And plus, by the way, I never want to see Del Rio versus Sheamus again in my life. If I see this match again, I am going to scream at the top of my lungs. I never want to see this match again. Del Rio versus the Big Show, never want to see that one again. So for the love of God, WWE, if this is the only thing you ever listen to me about, please do not have Alberto Del Rio versus Sheamus. If you need to do it so badly, do it on a house show so I don't have to watch. Or hell, do it on SmackDown. Do it on Main Event. I don't watch those shows. So go ahead and do it, but just don't do it on Raw or on a pay-per-view. Please. I beg you. So, what else happened at Hell in a Cell? Other than that, other than really the US title and the main event, wasn't much to really talk about. I mean, the New Day managed to hang on to their titles. I thought the Dudley Boys were going to get it. So, the Dudley Boys, after losing against the New Day, we saw on Raw, they were just on a random six-man. I guess the Dudley Boys, I don't know, what's the position? Are they here to kind of put over talent, or are they here to be the talent? I'm not sure. But I guess right now, the Dudley Boys, they've got to be done with the New Day. They've had a number of matches with them now. They've lost all of them, so they need to move on from that. So the thing is, who's going to face the New Day next? That's the thing. Like, which tag team is going to step in and try and come off the New Day? Is it going to be the Wyatts? Perhaps, but the Wyatts are kind of dealing with this whole Undertaker thing right now, so I don't know who's next to face the New Day. That's the thing. Whilst they've had the Dudleys, they haven't really positioned any other tag teams to come after the New Day, and it seems as though they kind of position the New Day as being singles guys, and recently as well, they want to kind of establish them as top-level singles guys as well as a top-level tag team, so they want them to be top-level guys. So the New Day is still doing great, still really enjoying them, and I think they're definitely missing Xavier Woods. I think he got married or something like that. That's why he's not around. So Xavier Woods really completes the act. So with Xavier Woods, I kind of felt as though the New Day were certainly missing something, and obviously that was Woods. But I think they were still very good. I really do enjoy Big E. I think he's my favorite in the New Day. But to be honest, I really like Big E. I've always liked Big E. I was very interested to see how he would go in NXT, and I really enjoyed him in NXT. And I always kept my eye on him. I thought, man, that Big E guy, he's going to be something. But he just couldn't click. You could just see he was nervous. He just couldn't adjust to it. I just think he had the character. It wasn't right for him. But this is the right character for him. He is killing this role. He is feeling, you can see that he's comfortable now. You can see that he's enjoying it. He's having fun. He's around two guys that he likes, that great friends with. You can see that this is really working well. Big E, when he was with Ziggler as the bodyguard, and when he tried to be a singles guy as the IC champion, just didn't work. But now with the New Day, I feel as though this pairing is just absolute gold, and I think they're really doing well with that. So keep the New Day going. My only problem is, don't try and overexpose the New Day. They've done that a little bit. They've given them a little bit too much time. Still make the New Day special. And, don't try and, expose them too much. I don't know. I don't really like this unicorn thing, but they're doing well the way. I don't know. I don't really get that, but whatever. It is what it is. They're trying to kind of get that going, get the crowd to do the whole unicorn thing. I mean, I can appreciate them trying, but I would never do that. I don't really get it, so whatever. But, moving on from that, the Divas match was actually pretty decent. Charlotte and Nikki Bella. I actually thought Nikki was going to win the title back, but as it turns out, Nikki's taking time off. Obviously, she's going to take time off with Cena by the looks of it, so that's cool. And they really have to try and get this belt off Charlotte. She's just sucking the life out of the air of this whole Divas thing. So now Paige did the whole big turn on Raw, so I'm guessing Paige is going to win the belt next, or at least feud with Charlotte. It just goes to show, they're still very stubborn on their ways. Sasha Banks was never in their plans. Charlotte was always the plan, and they're still sticking with it, and they're still trying to make it work, despite Sasha Banks obviously being the one that people want. People want to see Sasha Banks in matches. People want to see Sasha Banks as champion, but still they're so stubborn about their ways that they're not going to have it happen. I guess, though, some people kind of told me it's just the fact that what they're trying to do is they want to keep Sasha off TV. They want to make people want her and chant her name and want to see her. But I think, to be honest, I think it's just WWE going, fuck it. We'll use Sasha later. Let's try and get Charlotte over. We could, Sasha Banks. We know she's going to do fine, so no big deal. So I just think perhaps they're keeping her in their back pocket. But I think if she has the momentum, she's doing well right now. You got to capitalize on that, because if you wait too long, the heat is going to dry off. The heat's going to be gone. It's going to cool down. It's going to be gone, and an opportunity will go begging. They've done this so many times where guys, could be, explode into something, but it just doesn't happen because they keep waiting and waiting, and they don't do it. Like, to be honest, Dean Ambrose, I don't know why he isn't, why he hasn't had a better year than he is, and we'll talk about Ambrose more in a moment, but he's a guy I believe, like, earlier this year, I would have had him win the belt against Ambrose when he was red hot, and, really try and establish him as a huge top babyface, but they didn't do it, and now he's cooled off a little bit because of that. So they've made a mistake there. But I guess Charlotte will feud with Paige next, and it is what it is. I mean, I thought Nikki did a pretty good job. I thought Charlotte did a pretty good job. I think the match was better than what I expected it to be. I was expecting it to be a straight up piss break, but it turned out to be okay. So no real complaints from me. The Kane and Seth Rollins match was terrible. I lost interest after about 3 minutes. That match was just shit. And Owens and Ryback was just a glorified squash match, and I didn't care for it at all. So the only match that I really kind of was super into was the main event, and that was Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. I forgot about that in Hell in a Cell. That goes to show how great that was. I thought that was pretty good. I mean, the fact is they didn't really use the cell at all, and that kind of annoys me, but it was more of a tables match than a cell match, but I think they did a pretty decent job. I enjoyed it. I think they've probably had better matches on a Raw, but I thought the Hell in a Cell was pretty good, so no complaints from me, really. But anyways, the big one, the one I really want to talk about, is Lesnar versus Undertaker, and this match was fantastic. This is exactly the match that I wanted to see. I wanted to see two legends get in there and beat the hell out of each other. Bleed everywhere, just brutal match. That's exactly what I wanted to see, and that's exactly what I got. I was so happy with this match. I loved it, and Lesnar and Taker getting opened up the hard way was awesome. Lesnar pounding away on Taker and just beating the shit out of him. Like, he was giving him some stiff shots. That was a brutal match, and that was a fantastic match. I mean, it's not a match where, you can go, oh, yes, that was great moves. It was just a brawl, and this is the type of wrestling that I like. This is what I want to see. Two guys get in there and just beat the crap out of each other. That's what I like the most. And you might say, well, why don't you watch UFC? UFC, to me, doesn't have that entertainment factor about it, but WWE does. So this is kind of like your Attitude Era throwback match, and this is what, those are the types of matches I really enjoyed. Even that ruthless aggression as well. So this is kind of like a throwback to a Hell in a Cell match that you would expect to see from many years ago, and I loved it. Two guys going in there, just beating the hell out of each other, using weapons, and you could see that these guys didn't give a fuck about the rules, because they were bleeding. They try to get the doctor in there. Lesnar shoving the doctor away. Get the hell out of here. Not only that, they had, kind of hitting each other in the head with weapons as well. Kendo sticks to the head. I think even Taker took a steel chair to the head, to the jaw or something like that, trying to put his hands up for the steel chair shot. So they didn't really give a shit. These guys just doing whatever the hell they wanted, and that's exactly what they should be doing, because these two guys are your top guys. I mean, they can get away with murder in this company, so there's no surprise that they just want to go out there and put on a hell of a show, and they really did. I think that was great. I thought Undertaker was good. I thought he held up his own, and Brock Lesnar was phenomenal as well. So I absolutely love this match, and I guess it makes you wonder, though, like, if these two guys are doing all this crazy stuff, why can't the current roster do it? Like, why couldn't Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt get, bleed and kind of, go about it that way? I don't know. I just think I like blood every now and then. Like, in a match like a Hell in a Cell, it should have blood. Back in the early 2000s, every match, if it was a freaking tag match, if you took a bump to the steel ring post, or if you took a hard right hand, you'd be busted open, you'd be bladed, and you're bleeding everywhere. It was ridiculous. Every second match there was blood. But when there's blood every, you know, big match. Like when there's a huge fight feel, like a Hell in a Cell, like a No Holds Barred, you know, Extreme Rules, a TLC, you know, these huge match stipulation types. When there's blood involved, it elevates the match and makes it more realistic. And that's what I really... When they use it, every now and then, it means a lot more. But if they don't use it at all, they really are missing out. So I'm glad that even though Vince McMahon was freaking out over it, who gives a shit, Vince? It was a great match. People loved it. Everybody I've seen online loved the match. Just shake hands with Taker and Lesnar and say, great match, guys. Great job. Don't freak out about it because, you know, it's all about putting on a great show. And if they put on a great show, then so be it. You know, you can staple up Lesnar's head and fix him up after the match and move on with life. It's not a big deal. So the rumors of him freaking out about it was kind of funny to me because I would be freaking about it, you know, freaking over your ratings and freaking out over, you know, your poor WWE Network subscription. So when you have two guys go out there and put on a killer match, that's going to help sell your network and help improve your ratings, then you've got to be happy about that. You know, you can't complain about that. So they're too busy worried about their sponsors, too busy worried about being politically correct for their own good. And that's, you know, why I think WWE is really on the downhill, because they're not, you know, when anything, you know, slightly aggressive happens, you know, slight bit of attitude happens, they're freaking out, oh my god, we can't have that happen. You know, when there's someone bleeds, holy shit, we got to cover that up. So I'm glad that Lesnar kind of, you know, shoved him away, and I'm just glad that the match was what it was, and I really, really enjoyed it. And for their last match, fantastic. And obviously after the match, Bray Wyatt coming out and attacking Undertaker after the match, I was like, holy shit, I did not expect that at all. So I was like, okay, here we go again, Bray and Taker, you know, one more time. I was a little disappointed at first because I was thinking, oh man, like whatever. I mean, Bray and Taker set that up again for another WrestleMania match. But, you know, then they advertised Taker to be at Survivor Series, and it got me thinking, you know, obviously they're headed towards the Survivor Series match, Team Taker versus Team Wyatt. And I think that would be fantastic. Obviously, Kane coming out to try and get revenge on Raw for Taker kind of indicates that they are going to go that way. It's not going to be a singles match. It's going to be truly, you know, Team Taker, whoever he can get. I don't know who he's going to be able to get to bring in. But Team Taker versus Team Bray Wyatt, Team Wyatt, I think that'd be really, really good. And I love Survivor Series matches. If you guys have been following the podcast for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Survivor Series matches. So seeing this is going to be really, really exciting to me. I love seeing the 5-on-5s at done very good. And last year, I really enjoyed the 5-on-5. This year, it seems though it's going to be a 4-on-4. People say, oh, it's got to be 5-on-5. No, it doesn't have to be 5-on-5. Just make it 4-on-4. Don't try and force another person to be in the match if they don't belong. You know, if you got 4 guys in the whites, just use 4-on-4. Get Taker to get 2 guys. So, the thing is, though, like, we'll kind of go back and forth between Raw here. I don't know what... I didn't really get much of an explanation from Bray on Raw. Like, he kind of talked about how, you know, he's, you know, taken over or whatever, and, you know, I don't know, I just didn't get much of an explanation. I don't know why he did it. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, where's Undertaker? Where's Kane? I don't know what's going on. So, are we going to see Kane or Undertaker until Survivor Series? I don't even know. Like, are these 2 guys going to convert to Bray's cult? I don't know. I really don't know. So, I'm not sure where they're going with this, and I guess that's why I really am intrigued by the storyline, because I have no idea where they're going with it. So, my only logical 2 guys that I can see helping Team Taker is Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton, because they were meant to face Harper and Rowan, or Harper and Strowman, I should say, on a pay-per-view, but that obviously didn't happen because Randy got injured. He separated his shoulder. So, I don't know if Randy Orton's going to be back in time for that. I'd say he probably could be. So, I don't even know. I mean, storyline-wise, they said that Luke Harper took out Randy Orton, so it makes sense for Randy Orton to be involved in that. And Dean Ambrose obviously has a lot of history with the Wyatts as well, but they've kind of moved Ambrose and Roman Reigns away from the Wyatts now, so I don't know who's going to be their 4th. I have no idea. So, I guess that's why the storyline is very exciting and very intriguing. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next and who's going to be involved. So, I don't know. Survivor Series is about a month away now, so they've got about 4 weeks to build up towards it. So we'll see how they go with it, and we'll see who does get involved. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And on Monday Night Raw, I guess we kind of really talked about everything I wanted to really say on Raw. I mean, I really enjoyed the main event, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, and Del Rio and Ziggler. I really enjoyed that. The Owens and Reigns showdown was really cool, and even Rollins, did I say Reigns and Owens showdown? I think so. Reigns and Owens showdown was cool, and then Reigns and Rollins at the end as well was really cool as well. How do I feel about Reigns winning? I'm okay with that, because Roman Reigns, he's improved so much. You know, you look at Reigns 3 years ago, he was green as grass. This guy is starting to get it. He's starting to work into it. You know, his promos are not good, but if you keep Roman Reigns short and sweet, 10, 20, 30-second promos, that's all you need. He can do that. He's fine when he does that. It's when you try and make him cut a 5-minute promo, it goes to shit. So if you keep Roman Reigns, you know, this silent assassin, you know, this silent badass guy, you know, a man of very few words, it's going to work. And it has been working. And I've really enjoyed Roman Reigns. I think he's probably my favorite right now. And I've always liked Roman Reigns. Even when everybody was shitting on him earlier in the year, I was always for Roman Reigns. I was always saying, you know what, Roman Reigns is great. He's the future. I'm happy to see him win the Rumble. I don't care. If you go back to early episodes, Let's Talk Jesus, I was always for Roman Reigns. Always a fan. So, never really had a problem with him winning. I mean, I was never a big Daniel Bryan fan. And, I mean, look at if Daniel Bryan won the Royal Rumble, look what happened. You know, he got injured again. So, in hindsight, it was a good thing that Reigns won and did main event. And it was a good thing that Reigns didn't win the title, because him not winning the title was the best thing for him. Because the fans had turned on him. The fans have all turned on him, and now he's had a chance to kind of have another year. Have another year to build himself up. And I dare say he'll win the title next year. He might even win the title at Survivor Series. He's going to get the title soon, but he's had more of an opportunity to kind of build himself up and become a top-level guy, and he's done a great job, and I really have been enjoying Reigns. Keeping him away from the title feud and having this thing with Wyatt was great. I'm now looking forward to seeing what Reigns does next. And Reigns and Rollins is a match I don't think we've actually seen, if we have, not many times. So this is going to be a bit of a fresh matchup, a fresh feud, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of do this one. There really was nobody else, though, other than Reigns. Rollins really has no opponents right now because they've done such a bad job in building anybody up. The only problem I have is Dean Ambrose. Everyone knows I like Dean Ambrose, but Ambrose is Roman Reigns' sidekick. He's you do it, you go, Roman. You keep doing it, buddy. You've got this tonight. You go, man. Great job. I'll see you after your match. Roman Reigns has a sidekick, and his name's Dean Ambrose. And Ambrose, not on the Hell in a Cell card, not on the Raw card. The only time we see him is a backstage appearance cheering on Roman Reigns. So the whole talk was Dean Ambrose, he's going to get a big push while Cena's away. Where's the push? I mean, we haven't even seen him on the show. He's not even on the card. So Ambrose, I don't know. I just don't think they know what to do with him. I don't know. Like, why isn't Ambrose on the show? Why isn't Ambrose in a much better position than he is? If he's not with Roman Reigns, he's nothing at all, apparently. So they've kind of shoved Ambrose to the side, and I don't like that. I think Ambrose, like I said earlier, I think he should have won the championship earlier this year because he was red hot. He was doing so well, and Rollins was not. Rollins was definitely not. So they should have given the belt to Ambrose. Instead, they kept it on Rollins, and now Ambrose was kind of doing absolutely nothing. And Ambrose is a guy that they turn to. Whenever Lesnar's out, whenever Cena's out, now Randy's out, so all their top guys are out. You know who they call? Dean Ambrose. And then once these guys are back, you know who they don't call? Dean Ambrose. So Ambrose is a guy they'll push for about 6 weeks until Cena's back, and then they won't give a shit about him again. So I guess we have to enjoy Ambrose for, very limited amount of times. It's the time. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to last very long. So that's really all I have to say about Monday Night Raw. I mean, we've kind of covered everything whilst we were talking about Hell in a Cell and everything else. So I enjoyed Hell in a Cell. I think I gave the pay-per-view about a 7.5. I think some of the matches on there didn't really keep my attention, like the title match, the WWE title match, the IC title match, for example. And, there's some that, like the Hell in a Cell match was great. And I like what they did at the ending as well. I actually, just to finish that up, I don't think I mentioned it, when Bray Wyatt actually attacked The Undertaker, I was legit pissed. I was actually like, why? How could you do this to The Undertaker? He just had this hard-fought match. Leave the poor guy alone. And I was like, somebody help The Undertaker. I was thinking, someone has to come out and help this man. You know, I think, where's Reigns? Where's Rollins? But obviously they did a segment early in the show saying, well, we're going out. Let's go out. I'll be back. I'll be there soon. We'll go out for drinks. You know, so they kind of set that up. Cena, well, he's gone. He doesn't care. Randy's not there, so they didn't have anyone to help out Taker. I mean, Kane could have helped. I don't know why he didn't, but so I don't know. Like, I was like, holy shit, why isn't anybody helping the Undertaker? I was really happy to see they actually got some legitimate heat. You know, the crowd were actually booing them quite heavily, and I was actually pissed off at the Wyatts. So it was probably the first time in a long time I've actually really hated a heel. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you did that. That was actually a really dick thing to do. So that was great. They did that perfectly. Well executed. Really, really thought they did that well, because just a 4-on-1 beatdown of Undertaker, who just went through hell, that was just brutal. You know, I was like, man, that's not fair. So I like the way they did that. So some positive things for sure coming out of Hell in a Cell. And Raw was pretty good as well. So the last few weeks have been pretty solid. I've enjoyed WWE. It's starting to pick up a little bit again. But now Taker's gone. Lesnar's gone. So, well, Taker's actually going to be hanging around for Survivor Series. So we'll still have Taker for a little bit. So are we going to see the rise of Roman Reigns again? Perhaps. We might be seeing that. So it'll be very interesting to see where they go. And obviously the Royal Rumble's not that far away, and we're nearly on the road to WrestleMania. It's only a couple months to go. So it'll be interesting to see where they kind of go from here. We still have Sheamus with Money in the Bank, who has zero momentum, and I really despise Sheamus, and I hope he never wins that championship. So we could have a new champion soon. It could be Reigns, it could be Sheamus. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to watch, that's for sure. Alrighty, so we have some fan questions this week. You guys know what I've been playing, so we won't do the what has Brendan been playing this week, but we'll do a lot of your questions that have been submitted this week. So first of all, we'll kick it off with the voicemails.
Hey Brendan, I want to ask you, what was the point of WWE bringing back Chris Jericho for not only making him lose to the Wyatts, but also for him to tease a heel turn to Dean Ambrose if WWE wasn't planning on bringing him the next night or any of the pay-per-views that happened after his return? Do you think they just scrapped that storyline, or is he just coming back for a future pay-per-view, or possibly Hell in a Cell?
I think they just kind of brought him back for the sake of bringing him back. I think they wanted to bring back a top-level name, and they brought him back, and they didn't know what to do with him next, because he wasn't really scheduled to do anything else. You know, I thought, okay, for sure, they're going to set up for a match, but they just acted like nothing even happened. So it was kind of stupid and ridiculous. And I don't know why they would set that up if they don't have any plans for the future. I mean, obviously they could have something in the future, I guess, you know, bring back Jericho again, but Jericho's on tour for the next couple months, so he won't be available probably until WrestleMania season. So do we really want to bring this storyline back? I don't even know. So I think it was a poor move. I think it was just a quick knee-jerk reaction to try and get a partner. They probably had somebody they couldn't get, so they went, okay, we'll get Jericho.
Hey, Brennan, I want to ask you, why does WWE focus on all their attention on bringing back that nostalgia feeling when they have their old legends come back on Raw or a pay-per-view to get ratings up, but yet they don't understand or realize that they can solve all their problems by just focusing on the roster they have now and trying to build up the future instead of trying to get a ratings boost from guys like Undertaker, Stone Cold, Rock, and others. Anyway, this is George from South Carolina, and I hope you answer this question.
The WWE right now, their whole marketing standpoint is trying to get people that aren't watching. They're not trying to please their wrestling fans that they have right now. They're trying to bring back old fans. They're trying to bring back people who used to watch it 20 years ago. They're trying to bring them all back instead of trying to focus on the fans that they currently have. So in their minds, the people who watch the show, they're going to watch the show no matter what. Doesn't matter what they bring out, they're going to watch the show. Obviously, the ratings represents, otherwise, they've had a huge decline in the ratings. So people are actually tuning out. So in their mind, if they bring back these old guys that people used to watch years ago, then they might have a chance of bringing back these old viewers. They're too busy focusing on bringing back old viewers, whereas they could be focusing on right now, on the people they have watching right now and pleasing them and giving them who they want to see. Kids, from kids 10 years old. That's their, we're a PG company, we're a family-friendly company. So, 10-year-old kids, they didn't know who Undertaker was. They didn't watch Undertaker in his prime. They didn't know who Kane was in his prime. I mean, they didn't know who Sting was. They didn't know any of these guys. So, them focusing on bringing back all these older guys just kind of, contradicts their current, status of the company. They're trying to be a family-friendly company, but whereas the people that they're targeting don't really even know who they're bringing back. They don't know these guys. They're trying to bring back old fans, but they should be trying to bring back new fans and pleasing the new fans with the talent that they have now. Planning for the future is a key. It must happen. And Undertaker, he's 50 years old. He's not the future. He's only got a couple matches, if that, left in him. Sting, he's done. Kane, he's on his way out. Mark Henry's on his way out. Big Show on his way out. So they need to just try and focus on building their new talent, and they're not doing that because in their minds they don't need to. In their mind, if we keep bringing back these old guys, it's going to work. We're going to have new viewers. People are going to watch, and for the most part, yes, these guys are a draw, but they're only going to be a draw for a limited amount of time until they're done. Whereas you can build up Dean Ambrose, and he's going to be a draw for the next 10 years. Roman Reigns is going to be a draw for the next 10 years. So if it's a slow build-up, but they haven't been willing to execute it, they haven't been willing to invest all their time in making these guys stars. We see Ambrose, we see Rollins, we see Reigns, we see Bray Wyatt, we see them as great talent. We see, these guys, they're at the top of the card. But do we see them as megastars, superstars? No, we don't. It's because they haven't been willing to go to the next level with them. They haven't been willing to put all their money and time into them. They tried doing it with Reigns, it backfired. So I think right now they're thinking, well, it doesn't matter who we try and push, the crowd are just going to shit on it, so we won't do anybody. We'll just kind of give everybody 50-50 booking, and it's not working. So they have to just stick with a few guys, kind of listen to who the crowd wants. If the crowd want to see Ambrose, give him Ambrose. The crowd want to see Daniel Bryan, give him Daniel Bryan. They got to listen to the crowd and react accordingly. Alright, so we'll move on to our next question. By the way, thanks guys for sending in the voicemails. I had a lot of them. Some of them were WrestleMania questions that I've already kind of covered, and plus WrestleMania was, or it's already happened. So they're kind of like, what's your predictions about WrestleMania? Already kind of, the show's already out, so it doesn't make sense. But I appreciate all the voicemails, guys, and keep them coming. You can send one on the website, BrendenPlayz.com. On the right-hand side of the page, there's a big green button. Make sure you send in your questions, and I'll make sure to listen to it. Even if I don't play it on the show, I will still listen to your questions. So we have some questions here on the forums and on the YouTube. The first one comes from Smith, and he has quite a number of questions to ask about the new WWE game. His question is, annually released games such as FIFA, COD, NBA, etc. are often criticized for being repeats of the previous game and a waste of money. Do you think that this year's WWE game is worthy of being a brand new game, or is just as good as a normal update that we download for free? Well, this game, I think, is definitely a refined version. I think they've got enough features there to warrant a new version. The criticism of these other games, such as FIFA and NBA, those games are basically just updated rosters. FIFA, for example, hasn't really added all that many new features to the game. It's just pretty much the same game, a couple minor changes. NBA, pretty much the same game, but some more refined changes to their game. Whereas, NBA 3 years ago, when they changed from old gen to next gen, they blew their new game out of the park. It was this whole brand new thing, all these different things that were way, way better than before. It warranted a new game. But in the last couple of versions, not much has really changed. And, added a modal here, enough to kind of nearly warrant a purchase. So, FIFA and NBA, for example, are probably games you want to pick up every couple of years. And if you can get an updated roster in your game, you're pretty good. You don't really need to get a new purchase. WWE, for example, last year's game was worth a new purchase because it was next gen, you had the My Career. This year, again, is definitely worth the new purchase because My Career was so bad last year and so new and so young that you wanted to see and you want to play the new and better version. Plus, they have the showcase mode, a different showcase every year, so that's your thing. You still get some value out of that. Universe mode, if the main feature of the game was Universe mode, then it's definitely not worth the purchase because there hasn't been much change there. But because career mode and showcase mode have changed so much, then it's obviously worth a purchase again. So he wants to know, what is my favorite addition to the new game? I think my favorite addition is just, like I said earlier on, I think it's just really how smooth the game is and how fluid it feels. It just feels nice to play. I think the game feels a lot slower, and I don't really like that. I mean, the referee count, oh my god, the referee counts are so freaking slow, it's pissing me off. But just the fact that everything kind of flows really nicely, and I think it looks nice. I think, I just really like playing the game a lot more than I have before. I just think I'm enjoying the gameplay a lot more. The new pin system, the new submission system, I'm not sure how I feel about that yet, but I think it'll grow on me. So, my favorite addition to the game, I mean, I think the My Career mode, the fact that it's much, much better, but I think, honestly, bringing back, create a show, create an entrant, create an arena, those are probably my favorite things, but I haven't really had a chance to play around with them yet, but I know I definitely will enjoy them. So we'll move on to our next question now, and it comes from Edgar. He wants to know, how are you going to decide the first ever NXT champion on Universe mode? A Gold Rush tournament or the current NXT champion in real life? I think definitely a tournament is probably what I'll do. I probably like a series. I was even thinking about doing the TNA World Series that they're doing, maybe setting something up like that. I thought that might actually be a decent idea to do. Obviously not have freaking divas involved in the world title, but, something like that, could be pretty cool. So I'm thinking about doing something a little bit different. I'm still not sure how often I'm going to show NXT on my show. Am I going to give NXT its own episode? I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. It's possible, but it's definitely, up in the air how I'm going to kind of work NXT. And obviously I won't be bringing in NXT for a little bit. I'm going to give some time for NXT to kind of, have some more creative options there and some good options as well. So I'm going to give some time for that to kind of develop. But after that, once NXT is kind of up and running, I'm not sure how I'm going to kind of work it. I'll have some time to think about it, which is what I really wanted. I wanted some extra time to kind of think about it, and suppose I'll kind of ask you guys for some feedback on what you guys want to see, and we'll kind of mold it around that. Another one comes from Larry Williams. Do you think The Undertaker passed the baton to Brock Lesnar as the unstoppable force of the WWE? Definitely. I think Undertaker, has been an unstoppable force for such a long time, and Taker kind of losing to Lesnar was the right thing to do. It had to happen. Lesnar's already kind of built himself up as an unstoppable force, but him demolishing Taker and finishing him off in a blood feud was fantastic, and a great way to kind of move that on. This one from Adam Flame. He has two questions. And he wants to know, do you think Baron Corbin will be a main roster guy and win titles even though he is 31? Well, first of all, 31 is not old, and I think Baron Corbin, the best I can see him going is perhaps being like a US champion or a tag team champion. Honestly, I don't see him as a top singles guy. And he also wants to know what I think will be the main event of WrestleMania 32. The thing about that is it's so early, it's so hard to kind of dictate. You don't know where they're going to go. I think Lesnar will be in the main event in some degree. Is it going to be Lesnar and The Rock? I think that'd be a great main event. I'd love to see that. Is it going to be The Rock and Triple H? That's apparently what they're building towards. Is it going to be Taker's last match against John Cena? That's the thing. I don't know where they're going. It's too early to kind of predict. Another one from Larry Williams. How do you feel about Alberto Del Rio? How do you feel about Alberto Del Rio being in the mid-card scene? Do you think he elevates the competition for the mid-card championships? Yeah, I think definitely Alberto Del Rio carries on the torch that Cena kind of lit, and does a fine job. I think he'll be a good mid-card champion, but I think he'll only be holding the championship for a little bit of time. I can't see him holding it for very long, because I think Alberto will be moving up, going for that world title. And I still don't see him as a mid-card. I see more of an upper mid-card to main event kind of guy. Oakley Tiger wants to know, do you think they'll make the Survivor Series championship match a Shield triple threat, given that's where the Shield debuted? No, I don't think so. I don't think they want to throw that away for such a small amount of build. If they're going to do a Shield triple threat, they want to do that at WrestleMania and make it huge. So I think they'll keep that in their back pocket. That's for sure. This one's from Nabako7. He wants to know, do you believe that Reigns and Wyatt proved they both deserve to be treated as main event material after their match, after Hell in a Cell? I think they were already main event material long before that. I think Reigns won the Royal Rumble. He main evented WrestleMania. What more of a main eventer do you want him to be? Bray Wyatt's had some big feuds. He's kind of fallen away a little bit, but he's recovered nicely, and he's always been in the main event for a long time. Another one from Nabako7. Thoughts on Del Rio being the one who took the title from Cena? How would I have Cena return after he takes time off? How would I have Cena return? I guess, I don't know, maybe Del Rio is beating somebody up, has Like, again, I go back to the cross arm breaker thing. You know, if you want to put Del Rio over as a heel, whoever he's feuding with next, is it Dolph Ziggler? Maybe Dolph Ziggler and Del Rio, and having a match, you know, on Raw or something. And Del Rio has the cross arm breaker ready. He's trying to break Dolph Ziggler's arm. Out comes Cena. He returns, does the run in, does the save, and here you go again. Cena versus Del Rio for the title. Something simple, because I don't think it's going to be... It's not really long enough time away to really do anything major. So I think they'll definitely be bringing him back the minute that he can be back. So the minute he's available to come back, he will be back. So I don't think it's going to be much, you know, very extravagant. Another one for Tobacco7. He wants to know my favorite moment from WrestleMania, and if I could change or redo anything, what would it be? I would probably change or redo the Kevin Owens match. I thought that was okay, but I thought it could have been better. And my favorite match, probably I really enjoyed the Undertaker and Sting match. I really thought that was pretty sweet. And when Taker kept on kicking out of everything that Sting had, and then, you know, being in the live chat, everybody was going crazy when that happened, and Taker hitting the tombstone and getting the win. Everybody was going nuts in the live chat. So I thought that was definitely really cool, and I think being live there and watching everyone's response made it even better. This one's from Sheepy. Which is your favorite bit about these two? Zeb Coulter coming out on a motorized scooter, or Jerry Lawler telling Kane to use the Spanish announce table? I actually like the motorized scooter. I think it's kind of fitting for Zeb. Obviously, he had like leg or hip surgery or something like that, so he can't really walk that freely. But I think it kind of suits Zeb. And, you know, I go back to like Big Johnny Ace, People Power, when he was in his little scooter thing. I thought that was funny. So Zeb doing that again, I think that's cool. And I think it kind of fits him quite nicely. This one's from Blade. What do you think Lesnar will do now that his feud with Undertaker is over? Do you see him going after the World Championship again? I think Lesnar's my pick to win the Royal Rumble, honestly. I think it's time to bring Lesnar and put him in the Rumble. Have him just demolish everybody. Hell, I would even have Lesnar beat the Rumble record, honestly. I would have him just throw everybody out. Brock Lesnar comes in, just beats the shit out of everyone, throws them all out, have him come in at number 10 and go the distance. You know, do something crazy. He just unleashes and just dominates. I would certainly have them do that and then have him come after the world title. This one's from Bullet Sky. Do you think it'll be the Brothers of Destruction and the Shield will face the Wyatt family at Survivor Series? If not Kane, Reigns, or Ambrose, who do I think will team up with Undertaker? I'm sorry, I'm botching this reading right now. I apologize. I think it's definitely going to be the Brothers of Destruction. And like I said, I thought the Shield would have been good, but they've kind of moved Reigns away. I would have had Ambrose and Reigns join Kane and Undertaker, but obviously they've moved Reigns away, and I think they've even moved Ambrose away too, so I don't know what they can really do with that. I think Randy Orton's really the only other option, so I don't know who's going to be their fourth. I mean, they can just throw Ambrose in there to be a fourth, because it still makes sense. They've still been dealing with the Wyatts, but I'm not exactly sure who's going to be the final two. That's why I'm so intrigued about it. This one's from the Lunatic Ginge. How long do you give Del Rio until he punches another person in the face and gets fired? I think everybody is going to be walking on eggshells around Del Rio. I'm sure that Triple H has kind of let all the talent know, let everybody, all his staff know, don't say anything bad to Del Rio. Let this guy feel at home. Treat this guy like $1 million. Make this guy want to stay. Make this guy happy, because he's obviously an asset to them in their mind, and they want Del Rio to stay. They never wanted him to go in the first place. So they will want to make sure that Del Rio does not go anywhere, and they will be making sure that they treat him like an absolute superstar. He's going to be... It wouldn't surprise me if someone, scrubs his boots before he goes out to the ring. Wouldn't surprise me if someone wipes down the chair before he sits on it. Somebody gets him a drink when he wants one. It wouldn't surprise me if he has his own servant. I'm sure they're going to treat Del Rio like a god. Finally, this one's from Bullet Sky. He wants to know my thoughts on the Tyler Breeze debut on SmackDown of all places, and what do you think WWE was thinking about debuting him on a show that hardly anybody watches? Well, I guess I saved the best to last. Tyler Breeze. So, this is a guy I don't really like in the first place. I've never really been a fan. Don't like the gimmick, not my thing. And in-ring wise, he's okay. Never really impressed me that much. So Tyler Breeze debuting on SmackDown, for one, is a complete disaster. That is, you might as well put a bullet to your head. That's over. You're gone. You're done. So he debuted on SmackDown. Nobody gives a shit because it's SmackDown. So everybody kind of went, oh, wow, okay, cool. He debuted. So, okay, fine. Debuts on SmackDown, carried on to Raw, give him a big angle on Raw to kind of kick him off. So on Raw, what do? He just walks out and sits down. That's it. That's all he did. Dolph Ziggler didn't interact with him. He didn't screw Dolph Ziggler over. He didn't do anything. He just sat down and watched the freaking match. What? What the hell? I mean, they could have done something with the poor bastard, but they didn't do anything with him. I mean, he's already done. I mean, after 2 nights, he's done. Wasn't that Hell in a Cell? Didn't do anything. I mean, Tyler Breeze, they didn't really... I mean, is he going to be a SmackDown guy? Are they going to carry the feud on SmackDown? I mean, nobody cares. Nobody watches SmackDown. If they're going to make this guy something, it has to happen on Raw. And they didn't do that. They failed to do that. And I've already lost interest in Tyler Breeze. You know, I didn't really have interest to begin with, but it's certainly gone now. So, Tyler Breeze is done before it's even started. And this is the thing. The WWE, they bring these guys up, and once they bring them up, they don't know what to do with them. It's like, okay, we'll bring them up, and... oh, shit, what's next? Fuck. Look at Neville. They brought him up. Didn't know what to do with him. Look at Kevin Owens. Once he finished feuding with Cena... oh, shit, what do we do with Kevin Owens now? Oh... okay, we'll have him feud with Ryback. We'll give him the belt. Give him the belt and feud with Ryback. That'll keep him busy for a couple months. Now what? I don't know. We don't know. So they bring up all these guys that just don't have any plans for them. Lucha Dragons, they brought them up. What happened to them? They're not even on TV now. So they bring up all these guys, bring up these teams, and they just don't know what to do with them. And it's getting very, very clear that this is the case, again, with Tyler Breeze. And this poor guy, I mean, he had potential. He's been in developmental for about 4 years now, working his ass off, trying to get here. Made his own gimmick, got it over in NXT, comes to the main roster, and it goes over like nothing. No one gave a flying fuck. Came out to Raw, where they got a little bit of a pop, then that was it. It's done. Tyler Breeze is done before it even began, and it's a real shame. Guy has talent, guy has potential. Like I said, it's a gimmick that I don't like, and it's not for me, but I can see the potential in him, I can see the talent in him, but I've already kind of wasted it away, because they could have had him do something with Ziggler, and a Ziggler versus Breeze feud, cool, fine, that's great. But, again, they've kind of wasted away, and nothing's really come of it, so it's a shame, really. But I guess that's the WWE way at the moment. They just bring guys up, and that's it. They don't really care what happens next. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. I do apologise for the lateness. I know it's not really Tuesday now, but like I said, I really wanted to get the show out, even though it's late. Better late than never, right? So, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and really in supporting WrestleMania. That really means so much to me. You guys really made WrestleMania great. It's been a really very stressful couple weeks, honestly, and, you know, playing 2k16 last night and doing so much work on it already, I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do it right now. I'm struggling, but seeing you guys enjoy the videos and seeing you guys enjoy, leave positive comments and all the likes and stuff I get on the videos really kind of makes it all worthwhile. So it's been a tough few weeks. I really want to try and grow the channel into something bigger soon. I really want the channel to grow, and I'm hoping 2k16 is a good game for me, and I'm hoping that people come along to my channel. Because, you know, I'm putting in a lot of effort, and I'm slowly getting there. But I just want to hope that I can grow and get the BrendenPlayz channel out there to more people. And I feel as though I'm making some good videos. I feel as though I'm doing some good stuff, and people are really enjoying it. So I really enjoyed the live stuff, and I want to do more things live. I think I want to stream more. So expect to see me on Twitch this week as well, doing my career on Twitch. And my Twitch, by the way, has grown quite nicely. We're almost at 3,000 followers. We've kind of grown about 400 followers in the last week or so. So that's been pretty sweet as well. So I want to thank everyone that's been on Twitch enjoying that as well. So, guys, I just want to say thanks to everyone that's been supporting the channel, whether you've been here for the last 3 years or you're new to the channel. It doesn't matter how long you've been watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys enjoy this edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. Of course, leave your questions for next week's episode on the forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. Voicemails on BrendenPlayz.com as well. And probably next week, I'd say we'll have a lot of WWE 2k16 questions. So if you have any WWE 2k16 questions you want to know, make sure you put them down, and I'll get to them next week. So guys, thank you so much for watching. See you next Tuesday.